Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the middle of January 2026. You start with this Pisces card. It says boundaries. It says set and honor your boundaries to avoid being taken advantage of. You have this helping hand card. It says the universe is helping you find something you need that will lead to your next step. And yes, is what I will say. I do think the universe is being helpful to Virgos at this time, which is definitely needed. You've learned a lot about boundaries over the years. We've talked a lot about your relationships in general, and I'm not just talking about love, I'm talking about everything. And, I think you've learned how to set proper boundaries, how to have boundaries with, everyone in your life. You've probably had some very difficult experiences in the past having to do with like boundaries either, and it kind of goes both ways. And again, not a criticism, Virgo, but it's like there could have been times where you crossed people's boundaries and they crossed yours. It kind of goes both ways for Virgo. And like I said, I think the good news is you're like finally getting to the end of having to deal with that. Actually, technically it ended last year, 2025, but sometimes these things take a while to integrate. Your first card here is the Six of Cups. This is how you are entering into the reading since we're doing a Celtic cross, and the Six of Cups is great. The Six of Cups can be just a fun, playful, childlike energy. I think everybody should focus on that for years to come. I'm begging people to bring more love, joy, happiness down to earth. It's our only option. It's probably the thing that will save the world at this time, so we definitely need more of that good vibe, good energy going around. The Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive from the Six of Cups is overcoming an obstacle, so I also like it from that perspective. I feel a lot of you could be overcoming some sort of obstacle or challenge at this time, or something that you've been dealing with for a while. And yeah, I really definitely like that. Again, sometimes I feel that this card can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift is like a turnaround, so that's nice. Next, your crossing energy is the Ten of Pentacles. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. I kind of feel both for you. I do feel there are things that you need that you don't have, just in general. We're all kind of dealing with that right now. We had Pluto in Capricorn for a long time. Obviously Pluto has been in Aquarius for over a year now. And, of course, it entered into Aquarius like 3 times, and it retrograded out like 3 times before it finally moved back in last year. But, again, I think that Pluto is very slow moving. We had a retrograde in 2025 between May and October, where Pluto basically retrograded almost all the way to the beginning of Aquarius. So, it's very slow moving. I think we're still feeling that Pluto and Capricorn restrictive energy. There is something very restrictive about Pluto and Capricorn, I think. Luckily, we'll all be dead next time Pluto comes back to Capricorn, I'll say that. But, there's something very restrictive about it. So you could still be living. Sometimes I think when we experience restrictions, we still live as if we are experiencing restrictions, and we don't need to, And so I think this is encouraging you to kind of like open up more. The good part about this card is that the Ten of Pentacles can represent hidden or secret information, and it's just basically something you don't know that could change your fortunes with the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is about making it rain, and I feel like you could be making it rain if you learned more about whatever it is you're doing. And so it's not really hidden or secret. We just have to do our research with the Ten of Pentacles. You have the Knight of Cups in the area of what's on your mind. Some of you could be thinking about love or connection with the Knight of Cups. Could be a knight in shining armor. But showing up in the area of what's on your mind, the Knight of Cups is very dreamy, very imaginative. He's very daydreamy as well. So I kind of feel that for you, Virgo, where it's like you could be having a lot of dreams and daydreams. I keep telling people this year we absolutely need to pay attention to our minds. We have Uranus going into Gemini in April. It's like a supercharged brain, basically. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. It loves being in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so Gemini loves Uranus. But I think there are some, overall, I think it's very positive, but I definitely feel that mental activity could be exhausting at times. And I think having too many ideas or, jumping from idea to idea to idea could be a little bit of a problem. I feel as long as we stay focused on whatever our dream life is, we will be successful. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. But you have to hold that vision to build and leave the legacy, which is what the Ten of Pentacles wants us to do. So I would be holding your vision with the Knight of Cups. I would encourage you to dream more. Don't think things are ridiculous. I don't remember who I said it to. It might have been a collective reading that I did the other day where I said something about, the reading was saying something to me about people, needing to be logical, but also believe in the magical side of things as well. It's kind of sometimes I call these Tinkerbell readings, right? It's if you don't believe, it's not going to happen. So I don't know. I think we all maybe need to be logical, but also still kind of willing to believe that magical things can happen. You have the Hermit in your foundation, which is great. Whenever you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength, and you're showing up in the position of power and strength in your foundation. So, you showing up here just puts you in a position of power and strength. I think you are embracing your just Virgo energy in general. I feel like you've been through a lot. The Hermit has been through a dark night of the soul, and now he's standing at the top of this mountain, and he's shining his inner light. But he needs to come down from the mountain, of course, so I do feel it's time to come down from the mountain. Next, in the area of your past position, you have this Message in a Bottle card and this Yang energy card. I feel you are just focused on things that are clear in general. With that Message in a Bottle card, you also have the Eight of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords in this reading, and the Judgment card. These are all cards of great clarity. And so what I mean by this is if you're dealing with people in any situation in your life, I feel if you can tell that they're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, whether this is love or a work situation or whatever, I feel you're just going to say no, right? It's I just see, even though this is coming up in a past position, I think what it's saying is that you have learned enough lessons of people who are kind of flip-floppy or who just aren't willing to, kind of put the work into things. And I feel you're just being more of a decision maker, basically, Virgo, where you're just saying, no, I can tell this person isn't all in, so I'm all out, right? And if you do find people who are all in, then sure, you'll be all in. I just kind of get that energy here. The Yang energy card is like the Ace of Wands. It just kind of represents a passionate new beginning. So even though it's showing up in the past, you could, this decision-making type energy I'm getting here could be saying that you're just kind of having a new beginning because of it. You have the Eight of Wands in the past. Eight of Wands is quick success, quick conclusion, charging forward. One of my favorite cards in the tarot for sure, because it's, good. And it can represent a quick conclusion or things happening quickly. So it's coming up in the past. Again, even though it's coming up in the past, I feel your past is still kind of entangled with your current position, basically. And again, this is a good thing. These are good cards that are coming up in your past here, so I don't really see a problem with it. I do feel that, this is a year where we all should be watching our words and making sure we're saying good things about ourselves, that we're speaking positively about the things that we're going through and all that. So I would watch your words, but overall, like I said, I feel pretty good about it. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this dagger card. It says conflict and danger lie in wait. You have this hindrance. It says fate has blocked this path for you. Yeah, this is hot stove right here. Definitely Saturn, and Neptune moving back into Aries this year. Neptune will be on the 26th and Saturn will be on February 13th. If you touch a hot stove and it's hot, don't touch it again. This goes for people, places, and things in your life here, Virgo. I see this for a lot of people. I think it's going to be a very good year, but just in general, although I think there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, I've been predicting this for years, literally, and I haven't been wrong. So there you go. But I think we're going to see plenty of things to complain about going on in the world, but it's really important that we focus on ourselves. This is not from a selfish perspective. It's from the perspective of Pluto and Aquarius. A lot of people say Pluto and Aquarius is the collective, which is true. But Pluto and Aquarius, I think, is really the individual saving the collective or saving themselves to save the collective. It's the more we work on ourselves, the better, basically. So, I would focus on yourself more. from a growth perspective, it's like, I think selfishness is only bad if you're doing like selfish bad things. It's like, if you're focusing on yourself to make yourself the best version of yourself that you possibly can, then obviously you're going to have a positive impact on the world. So, that's what we need to focus on. I've said to everyone for the past like 2 years, no road rage, no causing problems. People who cause a problem in your life in the first place, trust it, right? With that dagger card, again, a hot stove is still hot, right? So if someone has burned you in the past, they're probably going to do it again, right? I cannot tell you how many times I have had a person say to me, like, I've told them not to go back to their ex, and they've said to me, people change and all this other BS. I'm like, okay, don't come crying back to me when this person burns you again. Guess what happens? Like 10 times out of 10, the person cheats again. The person does whatever they did again. So it's like, do people change? Sure. But it's like, should we take that risk? Probably not, right? So, if someone's burned you, it doesn't have to just be love. It could be anything. Trust it. You have the Queen of Swords in the area of your very near future. Queen of Swords is about seeing things clearly. Like I said, I think your vision is clear, and you need to trust that, and don't doubt it for sure. She has clouds only halfway up her body. She is seeing clearly for the first time, so trust your vision. Next, in your outcome row, you have this Reframe card, probably one of my favorite cards in this deck, and probably one of my favorite energies for 2026. And you have this Request card as well. I feel that this year is all about perspectives. It's starting this year because of Uranus and Gemini. I've said it a million times. Uranus and Gemini is infinite perspectives. It's like you can, Uranus and Gemini would be like not even looking at my hand. It would be like zooming in to the atoms on my hand, and then you literally could have an infinite amount of perspectives around it depending on how you looked at it, right? And so that's Uranus and Gemini. And so, but for us, the beautiful thing here is we can reframe any situation that we're in. We can change it by reframing our perspective and choosing the one we want to see. So make that choice. You have this Request card. I do think with the Judgment card, which we'll talk about in a second, Judgment is a great card to ask for things. But that Request card, it's like an egg timer. So, I think if you ask for things, they're not going to show up immediately, and that's okay. Next, in the area of your next few months, you have the Judgment card. A lot of Judgment energy this month, which is pretty interesting. Again, we are at the beginning of the year, so, people could be reinventing themselves or changing or rebirthing themselves or, things like that. So I guess it kind of makes sense that the Judgment card is coming up a lot. These people are standing in these coffins. The coffin is their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life, and they are being asked to step into their new life. So a lot of you could be stepping into a new life or a new opportunity. And I think that would be a very good thing for you with the Judgment card. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Queen of Wands. So number one here, Virgo, if you're looking for love, Queen of Wands can say you're very attractive at this time. So I would definitely put yourself out there if you are looking for love. Number two, you need to follow the sun, right? She has this sunflower right here. The sunflower points towards the sun. I think in all relationships in your life, that includes your relationship to two things, like your job or the things that you do during the day. It doesn't just have to be your relationship with people, but including that, right? You need to move towards the things that you are drawn to. It's like, really, we see a lot of clarity here. So the things that are going to be good for you this year, they might literally be glowing, right? And the Queen of Wands, she moves towards the sun, something that glows. So I would really pay attention to how you feel about pretty much everything, not even just this month, but really for the rest of the year. I think things that are right are going to be obvious. Things that are not right are going to be like a hot stove, right? They're going to be things that probably burned you in the past. So I would also say there is a part of this reading that is encouraging you to trust what you have already learned from the past, and I would do that. On top of that, again, if you're looking for love, Queen of Wands is my card of seduction. So you could be, attracting people, seducing people this month, and if you're looking for love, I would definitely put yourself out there. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Queen of Cups, which is very good. Queen of Cups, she really follows her heart and values her heart. And so, number one, with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups, I would make sure you are doing things that you actually desire to do. The more we nurture our desire with the Queen of Wands, especially, the better things get. And your heart is kind of attached to your desires. So the more you, again, pay attention to like where your desires are leading you, the better with the Queen of Cups. We are also in a very, very intuitive time. So I would definitely be trusting that intuition of yours. I think it's a great time to develop some sort of intuition, or to like work on your intuition in general. I would just pick something and work on it. I mean, your opposite sign is Pisces. I'll give you a great example. I got into remote viewing years ago, right? And I stopped doing it for a long time. And so this year I've been getting back into it. So, most people consider that to be scientific. It's not really intuitive, but I kind of look at it as intuitive. So like I'm a Pisces, right? I am picking a practice to stick to this year, just to develop my intuition more, right? So I think that would be good for you, to kind of like really tap into that something, right? Could just be meditation. People always ask me how to develop your intuition. I always say like the easiest thing to do is anytime I cross a threshold, I'm looking at a door right now, right in front of me. Anytime I cross through a doorway, especially if there's people on the other side of it, I just quickly pay attention to how I'm feeling, right? The thing with intuition is that you develop it by paying attention to it and by listening to it. And so how do you feel when you cross through a doorway, right? That could just be a simple practice that you practice at this time to develop your intuition more. And again, I think people don't realize that, it's like there's like new benefits in this year, in the future, I think, for intuition, because Neptune is moving into Aries. Whenever Neptune changes signs, it like changes our intuition. So if we work with the intuition, like who the hell knows? Maybe it helps you predict things, or, maybe it helps you do something. And, I would pay attention. You have the Nine of Cups as your outcome, which is freaking amazing. Definitely your outcome could be a wish, or you getting something you wish for. Nine of Cups is also total fulfillment. The Ten of Pentacles is kind of like wanting fulfillment, because the Ten of Pentacles is the tree of life. It is everything you want and desire. And so the Nine of Cups can also represent fulfillment, or it does represent being in fulfillment. So you could be feeling very fulfilled. The trick with the Nine of Cups is to feel fulfilled before you feel fulfilled. So even if you don't have something that you want, you have to imagine that you do. We're going to clarify. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. With the Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, he is doing something differently. Again, everybody's going to get this card a million times over the next, until 2033. It is a very Uranus and Gemini energy. Seven of Swords is about doing things in a different way. Uranus and Gemini wants us to think about everything that we're doing, and it wants us to approach it from a different perspective. Literally the secret sauce for the next many years, right? So any new perspectives that you can learn, or any new approaches to everything that you do, is going to be very beneficial. Again, I keep telling people it's an amazing time to research. It's an amazing time to just think about what you do, like in your job, in your work, in your business, and just go on YouTube. There are 6 billion videos about freaking everything, and just try something new, right? It'll change your life. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Five of Pentacles. I feel like you are fearing being left out in the cold. This kind of feels like two people to me. So again, if you're looking for love, there could be love, but it's like both people need to make sure they're healed. The Five of Pentacles to me isn't necessarily bad, because fives have very easy solutions. So the solution to the Five of Pentacles is to not call attention to your weaknesses, but to focus on your strengths. But what I would say is, again, if you're healed, but this person isn't, then I would be careful, right? I always tell people, I think there is nothing wrong with saying to a person, you're not healed, go over there and heal, and when you're ready, let me know, right? So, maybe you need to have that type of boundary. With the Hermit, you have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords, winning at all cost. And again, fives have very easy solutions, but at the same time, to me, the Five of Swords sure can represent separation, sadness, blah, blah, blah. I don't really feel that here. To me, the Five of Swords can sometimes represent needing to take a risk in some area of your life. So, it might be time for you to, put yourself out there more. The Hermit has to take the risk of shining his light. The biggest risk we can take with Pluto and Aquarius is doing things like speaking up and being wrong. The risk of speaking up in business or work, the risk of public speaking, the risk of starting a YouTube channel, anything that could potentially lead to your exposure, right? So that's the risk we all have to take. We all have to take those risks of like it being in a position where we are exposed. But I also think that those are the risks that are probably going to take off. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Knight of Cups. It could be a past person. I don't think you've ever dated this person again. I do think some of you could be attracting a person from the past, but again, not like as in an ex. I think this is more like maybe a person that you've known from the past, or maybe a person you haven't seen in a while. You do have the Judgment card here. So the Judgment card to me can also represent a person from the past. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands again. So you have repeating cards here. Repeating cards are basically the universe saying I meant what I said. You have three queens, I just realized. Three queens can represent being careful of jealousy. So here you go, right here, right? I would just ignore jealous people again. You know, there's no good way to say this, but I do think we're entering into a time where there will be more people where things are not going well for them, right? So they're going to be taking it out on everybody else. And I think, you know, that's for years now. I've been saying no road rage, right? For a reason. And again, I think number one, I think we should have grace, right? We should let people off the hook more, probably. You know, if someone is a jerk in a store or something, just let it go, right? They probably had a bad day, right? On the other hand, we should just ignore or block or put up boundaries against jealous people. With the Judgment card, you have another repeating card. You have the Queen of Cups. Yes, your intuition could lead to like a new life. You know, you and Pisces, telling you right now, South Node, you know, in your sign, North Node Pisces, plus Neptune switching signs, you know, this year in you know, in basically, you know, whatever, however, 17 days from, or 16 days from when I publish this video. So, you know, again, I think that you and Pisces don't realize how, like, what your intuition could lead to. Could lead to you seeing an opportunity before anyone else does. Could lead to you predicting things that are going to happen, which you could take advantage of. Again, I would just start working on that intuition because you never know. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles. That kind of changes things. Page of Pentacles is a new person usually, and Page of Pentacles is showing up in the area of your closest relationships. So definitely could be a new relationship coming in for you. Page of Pentacles usually starts with communication. You know, it could be a past life person for sure. So again, maybe it is a person you know, or maybe you feel like you know this person, but you know, maybe it's not. You know, it could be like a past life connection. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Nine of Swords. Yes, I think your intuition could be a little bit scary at this time, right? Nine of Swords is like having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare. But again, I think we should be listening to our dreams, our daydreams, our nightmares, and we should be paying attention to those things. The other thing I would say here is, like, don't do things that are going to break your heart, right? It's a very good reading, Virgo, but at the same time, I kind of feel it's saying, like, don't fall into old patterns. I do think your intuition will be warning you against patterns that could potentially repeat. So again, make sure you're listening to that intuition. Look at this. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Sun, which is freaking amazing. The Sun is the best card in the deck, makes the whole entire reading more positive. So the Sun is a very good outcome, very happy. Again, we talked about the Sun with the Queen of Wands because she needs to move towards the Sun. She needs to move towards her happiness, joy, peace, good energy, good things. And, you know, that's really what I would focus on there. You have this March card, and I always clarify these monthly cards. You have this Angel card. It says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. I'm going to pull you an extra card because you also have this card that says great worry over nothing. It's like basically the universe is saying that anything you could be worrying about, you're probably just over worrying. I have literally been saying since 2023, and for the people that can't listen, sitting in the back of the classroom here, yes, I understand this reading is for 2026. I'm recording it in 2026. I wasn't even living here in 2023. So there you go. Listen, turn on the hearing aid, right? So I'm talking about 3 years ago now, 2023. I used to say all the time that between 2023 and 2033, we're going to see a lot of people who get to 2033, they're going to look backwards and they're going to say, all I did was worry for the last 10 years. This started in 2023 for the people in the back of the class. Yes, it's 2026 right now, just so you know. Also, by the way, I was like 50 pounds fatter in 2023. So there you go. But what I would say here is that, again, don't be one of those people who ends up in less than 10 years just being like, oh my God, all I did was worry about everything that was going on and I didn't get anything done. Again, we're in a time of distraction if that isn't immediately obvious to you. So we need to realize that certain things going on are just distractions. It's part of a movie. We're all on stage, but we can choose to do different things. You have this jug card. It says lighthearted, carefree time. Yes, this is what everybody should be focusing on, having fun, bringing love and joy and peace into the world. That's what I would do. You have this hills card. It says obstacles to overcome. They're hills, they're not mountains. Again, you and Pisces. Again, the reason I talk about Pisces in your readings, and I really don't care if you don't like it, deal with it, number one, because it's important. So, I don't know, if you don't like it, go over there until you do, just like this person that you could be dealing with. But what I would say here with this card is that you and Pisces, it's like, I think you could be experiencing like little things that kind of remind you of past obstacles. And those past obstacles probably did prevent your progress. But now they're not. Now you know how to overcome these things. So don't let little issues become big ones because your brain is telling you, oh, it's just like the last time. It's not. It's different. You have this dog close up. It says pleasure with a close friend. This wanted to come out together with it. It says desk. It says pay attention to your work. Yeah. Could be a good time to like work with people. If you're co-creating with people, could be a lot of benefits in that. Again, I'm going to pull you an extra card. You have this dogs card. It says getting together with friends. So obviously just repeating itself, but this looks amazing, Virgo. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.